Hi, welcome to my channel. In this episode, we're going to talk about spiritual journey. To start off, we're going to touch upon what does it mean to be spiritual. Then following to that, we'll share my journey, how I got started. And then to close out, what could you do to get started with this journey? Without any further ado, let's unpack. So to start, right, what is being spiritual mean? To understand this, right, first we do want to understand what is this physical or the world which we live in. Again, the physical world which we live in, right, are driven based on sensory perception, right, which is like seeing, hearing, touch, taste, etc. Right. So all of these are external world driven, right? By that, what I mean is when you see some things, right, you basically process the things based on your own understanding, right? For example, you see a dog, right? You do process that hey, it's a dog because you do have something stored in your brain to say, yes, that's an animal, that's a dog, right? So that understanding or processing things, right, from external input is nothing but a perception of that thing, what you saw, right? A dog in this scenario. So now, what is being spiritual means, right? Going back to that question, it's basically a way of living, right? By that, what I mean is, right, today the way we live is based on certain perception, certain understanding of the physical world. Similarly, right, in case of spiritual, it's increasing the perception or expanding the perception, expanding on the non-physical side, or the other way to see it is, right, the energy side of it. Yes, spiritual perception, right? It's about increasing the understanding of the non-physical, right? The other aspect, which is the energy side of it. Again, why it's important to understand that aspect, because the energy side of it forms the core, right? It is your innermost, and the implications from the inner core, right, pretty much comes out to the outer core, means outside, right? And it does impact the way you are living. So let me share my journey through this, how I got started. So it was about when I was around 16 or 18, sometime around that, right? I started doing meditation, especially breathing exercise. What it did help, right, at that time was more like helping my focus. So I continued during my university on and off, right? And then post that, got busy with the work, etc., and left it off. So several years passed. Then about 9 years ago, right, on one of those weekends, having a deep thought. So I was doing good at work as well as on personal side. So the question was, right, is this it, right? The life about, right? Hey, you work, you earn, right? You are leading the happy life. But then the question came, right? Of course, you do have desire to grow in the organization, all that stuff. But when I went a little bit deeper and then started looking around, right, what struck me was including CEOs, CFOs, right, they are also answerable to either investors or board, etc. So this is where, right, my thirst for spiritual journey started. However, I didn't literally start for at least another year or so, because again got busy with work, etc. However, over last 7 years, been very consistent doing daily meditation, and through my journey, right, that's where my perception of life has changed. That, right, I would like to share how can you get started with this journey to spiritual way of living, right? First of all, we want to look at how are you operating in your physical world, right? Because once you know this, then comes to the second thing, right? How do you increase your perception on the non-physical side of it. Then comes, right, how do you incorporate the spiritual way of living into the journey? To start, right, to understand how we are operating, right, how I got started was started meditating to see what kind of thoughts, right, am I having. And over a few weeks, right, when I started looking at my own thoughts, the things which were coming to my mind were classified into four different kind of buckets. It was around health, right, relationship, financials, work. Those were four major buckets when I started thinking. And then as I saw my thoughts go by, right, it was more like a circular ones. For example, on the health side, right, I used to work out like before 7 years very consistently, but a year or so before that, right, I had kind of stopped. So that used to bother me. And interestingly, right, over few more weeks, I started working out. And then what I noticed was my thoughts about this health, right, not been working out, right, start to reduce, right. It was no more concern in my mind. So similarly, right, for each of the things of categories and the things what used to be like more occupied in my mind, I started to assign an action during my meditation, and I used to follow up. And over a period of time, right, it completely freed up my mind. And with that, right, my focus was so great. And that's when, right, the next level of journey started, which was understanding one's own energy. So I would say start meditating over a few weeks, right? Understand what kind of thoughts you are getting. I mean, if you have to write down, right? And then during meditation, right, you would train your mind to say, okay, hey, if something is bothering, right, write down in your mind itself, right, and say, hey, you're gonna take an action, and make sure you follow up, right, to do what you're saying you're gonna do. And what you will notice is that thought which was bothering you, right, it would disappear or it would reduce, right. So start applying similarly for all the other things what is bothering you, and over a period of time you will see your mind as freed up so much. And once you get to that state, right, you will see the way you operate in life would have totally changed. And that will set the stage for the next level of journey, right, where you understand your energy. Again, if you like the video, please subscribe as well as like and then share with others. Thank you.